Welcome, friends. Welcome back to the hangar. Today is weigh-in day number 3, I think.
It is 3.
Weigh-in day number 3. We are taking Mike Victor uniform to the Arctic. And we need to figure out how much stuff we can carry in the plane.
We've got lots of space.
But we've only got 895 pounds of usable weight. Out of that usable weight is Julie and I.
Yes.
The weight of the fuel in the wings, which is
28, according to our notes.
228 pounds, which immediately, so we've dropped down quite a bit.
330 pounds right there.
The route that we're taking to the Arctic, there are several airports where we can't get fuel.
Including Yellowknife.
Including Yellowknife.
They're working on it, but right now you can't get
Can't get fuel in Yellowknife. So we're gonna have to carry extra fuel in cans inside Mike Victor uniform. And each of those fuel cans, when filled with fuel, weighs 32 pounds. So that's
60 pounds. Well, yeah, more than that we weren't
Yes.
counting on bringing, but must bring.
So at the bare minimum, 2 of those cans are going to be filled at all times, and sometimes 3 of those cans might be filled. The third is a spare, though, just in case we have to go to town and bring fuel. Anyway, so fuel becomes a problem, and that extra weight means that we can't bring a lot of stuff that we want to bring, which is why we're on weight number 3.
As we figure out what we can and cannot bring. We originally were like, oh yeah, we'll bring the double burner camp stove, and we'll bring the big tent, and no, not anymore.
So this I think is the final grouping of stuff that we're going to bring. We're going to go through it one at a time. Julie's got a spreadsheet.
Yeah, have to admit to being a total geek. I love to code in a good data sheet, Excel sheet.
Julie's spreadsheet is going to help us put everything in the plane in the right order, because you don't all just dump everything into the plane. You also have to balance the plane so it's not nose heavy or tail heavy. You have to balance it out really nicely in order that the plane is stable and safe to fly. So, and I'll give a little bit of an explanation each time we go to put something in.
We may have to wait. Someone's
We're
driving
at an airport.
by. I saw them just land earlier. I think it's our neighbor 2 doors down that way, or over here? Okay. Okay, we're back.
Okay, so you've got our weights.
I do.
We're going to move. I'm going to take stuff sort of tail forward in what I'm taking. So, step ladder. Absolutely need a step ladder because we'll be fueling in places where we don't know that we're going to have a ladder. It's always great to have. 6 pounds. Oh, 9 pounds. Survival bag. We are camping, so we've got extra stuff plus the survival bag to live 72 hours in case anything goes bad. It's got food in it, it's got water purification, it's got things to light fires, multiple ways to light fires, it's got tarps for shelter, it's got little sleeping bags in case we have to sleep out in rough. Everything that you need in a survival bag for where we're going is in here, and it is 18 pounds. Spares box. This will also go in the extended baggage. In here is extra oil, oil filters, cleaners, chalks, cloths, all kinds of things that we might need to keep the plane moving. Spare plugs, things like that. 24 pounds. Camera equipment and production bag. So in here is all the extra batteries, cameras, spare cameras, memory cards, computer, hard drives, all of that sort of thing. And it weighs in at 37 pounds.
I know.
Secondary camera bag, 15 pounds of batteries. Of course, the fuel cans, 2 of these will be full pretty much all the time, 32 pounds each. A spare fuel can because there is going to be a place where we're going to need to carry that third thing of fuel. Extra communication. This doesn't need to be on there because it's already part of the weight and balance of the aircraft, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows we have spare communication devices. We've got satellite communicators, we've got spare radios. We're covered for communication. This looks like an empty bucket.
It is an empty bucket.
It is an empty bucket. It will be filled with our food. The saddest thing about this trip is that we thought we were going to be able to do some campfire cooking out in the wild, and it's just not going to happen. We don't have the weight capacity to bring a cooler and food and all of that sort of thing. So we're bringing freeze-dried backpacking meals. They're going to go in this bucket. This bucket will have a lid. It's got a handle. It can hang from a tree. It is bear-proof. What did I say, 12 pounds last time?
With food? Yeah.
So it'll be about 12 pounds of food. Which brings us to the camp kitchen.
Kitchen box. It has shrunk significantly.
Yes, so it's just a jet boil and some canisters of fuel.
It is pretty much the camping gear we had for the emergency kit.
Yeah.
That we've pulled out of the emergency kit to just use.
Just to use every day. So that is 6 pounds. And since we're doing rehydrated meals,
bring water.
So this is 4 liters of water. We will also be carrying every day probably another 4 liters of juice or tea every day when we fly, which doesn't need to be part of this weigh-in. So this is 9 pounds. Comes to my flight bag. My flight bag was too heavy, so I'm leaving most of it behind and carrying all of my flight stuff in this canvas bag, which comes to 5 pounds. Right?
Got it. Yep.
Toolkit. Every tool that I will need to do basic repairs on this aircraft is in here, including wire, so that we can wire things back together. 13.5 pounds. This is something that I've struggled with over the last couple of weigh-ins, and I keep taking things out that I probably won't use. So we've got this down by many pounds at this point. 13 and a half. Life jackets. We will be flying over water quite a bit, so those will go in the front with us at all times. Sleeping pads. We had a really nice old man sleeping pad, really, really big, really thick.
Weighed 20 pounds.
Nice to sleep
I
on.
don't remember. Hold on, I'll find it somewhere in here where it weighed. But yeah, it weighed way too much.
I slept on it last year at AirVenture, Oshkosh, and it was just wonderful. But weighed too much. So a couple of sleeping pads. A tent. Our favorite tent we can't bring because it just weighed too much. So we've got a smaller tent. I don't know that it's smaller, but it's
it's not as
rugged.
It's not as rugged.
It's not as rugged, and so it weighs a lot less. This one comes in at 8 pounds.
And it's much new. This is just newer. So the weight of everything has just changed, right?
Yeah. The tent that we wanted to bring, we've owned for a very long time, and it's
lovely.
Yeah. Big tarp. This big tarp is for throwing over the wing to create a very nice, large, rain-free area under the wing.
And wind-free space.
Wind-free space.
Whatever that means.
And the tent could fit inside. So if we end up somewhere that's super rainy, we'll be dry.
We like that.
Yes. Originally, we wanted to bring camp chairs like the one Julie's sitting in, but weighed too much. Not going to happen. Next up, this represents my clothing, and Julie will have a bag of similar size and weight. What does the weigh-in say?
Well, I won't say anything until I've assigned it a place.
Okay, so next up is getting it all.
It's not officially on the plane yet, so it hasn't gone into the total.
Okay. We need to figure out how to balance it all inside the plane. Let's start doing that.
You ready? I'm ready.
Survival bag, extended baggage.
Extended baggage.
Spares box, extended baggage.
Spares box. So as Glen gets things in the extended baggage, so I've assigned the different sections of the plane, and then I've got them color coded in a drop-down menu, and then once I select them, they're in there. It transfers the weight over. It's great.
Stair step.
Stair step.
Extended baggage. I also want to add that other survival gear like the first aid kit, I had Chris weigh it included in the aircraft.
So it's considered.
So it's in the aircraft.
Because we're never going anywhere without it.
No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Along with these items, which were also in that total.
Back seat right.
What?
Spare camera. Extra
Spare camera. Okay.
Whatever you've called it.
I don't have a clue. Camera battery. What did you say? What did you say? Left back?
Back right.
Back right. Got it.
Back left. Camera gear.
Camera kit. Back right. Back left.
And when we say right rear seat, there are no rear seats anymore, but in the weight and balance form, it's broken out as right and left back seat. The extended baggage, I'm allowed 50 pounds. The baggage, I'm allowed 120. There's no real weight limit. I mean, there is a weight limit, but the back seats, there's no real weight limit.
So there's a few things that haven't been assigned a space. Again, life jackets.
Oh, life
assume-
jackets, each on a,
Pilot and co-pilot.
yeah, pilot and co-pilot. We've
So
got
we currently have 840 pounds. So we've got a 50-pound grace in there.
55-pound grace.
55-pound grace.
Which is great. So the gas can empty at 3 pounds. Okay, so on the flight where we may need to bring a third full gas can,
We have the weight to do
it'll
that.
still give us a 25-pound grace.
So you've got, and I've got it split up, So you've got 51, you were saying you had certain weight limits in
Yeah.
spaces, right? So the extended baggage currently has 51 pounds.
Can only have 50.
So we need, that'll,
I can take a little bit out of the spares box. That'll be fine.
yeah. It'll just shift to a different
A
box.
liter of oil just comes out and goes under my seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the baggage area has 45 pounds.
Excellent.
The left rear and right rear, which are the seats, have a combination. Oddly, have 82 pounds in both sides.
Which is great. Left and right balance
So the nice balance.
isn't a huge deal, but it's nice to have it balanced, which is great.
And then pilot and co-pilot, they're off. They each have less than 200 pounds, but they're different by about 40 pounds. So
I mean, our whole weight problem could be cured if I'd lose 25 pounds.
that's not fair. That's not fair at all, because that's still not the difference between the
No,
two. There's
no.
something behind one of our seats that we need to shift over maybe, but this is a great start though, right? So we can see that we need to move a little bit of weight forward from the extended baggage. We know that we can move maybe a couple heavy items that are in
And
from left to right.
and having done this now 3 times, it will be second nature to load the plane. I will know now where everything is supposed to go, and I can just take these numbers at the beginning of every flight, plug them into the weight and balance in ForeFlight before I file my flight plan. And we're good to go.
You really want to bring that pump, don't you?
I keep thinking about this bicycle
I
pump.
wanted to advocate for the bigger sleeping mattress. But that's something we decided. So we have a whole bunch of stuff on here that we had from before. The bicycle pump is 3.5 pounds. The chairs are 14 pounds. We've opted not to bring those. The cooler's 4 pounds. We've opted out of that. And the larger sleeping pad is an extra 8 pounds.
Well, and our regular camp stove is 9.5 pounds, so there's no way we could fit that in with a frying pan with pots. And I looked at the super lightweight, all of the super lightweight stuff. That falls into the cost category of I can't afford it.
yes.
You know, we own so much camping gear to
Yes.
start buying brand new lightweight camping gear at this point just doesn't make sense. Unless we find out that we're going to do this every summer.
Yeah. So for now, most of our camping is not this type of camping.
No.
It's,
No.
usually me canoeing, but, who's coming in?
Weight and balance is looking good.
Yes. It's much better third time round. It's kind of funny how it took 3 times. You think it's simple, but it's actually there's a lot of give and take.
So now it's nail down the route. Take
As
account of
much as we can.
Take accounting all of the forest fires and the smoke, and reconfirm that every airport that we're stopping at that I think has fuel actually does have fuel. we're not in too bad a shape because I do have the MoGas STC. We can put car gas in this aircraft, and where we're going, the car fuel does not have ethanol because it's in the north. They don't put ethanol in it there because it's just a problem. Okay.
I think we're ready for the next stage.
Come along for the trip. I don't know how many episodes this is going to be, but it's going to be a few. We're going to have an adventure, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm terrified and excited all at once.
Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon. So much has happened since a week ago when Julie and I shot the weight and balance packing the airplane video.
Quebec Terminal, Foxtrot, Mike Victor uniform. Quebec Terminal, fairly readable. I'll call back in 5 minutes.